big week for crypto, Ripple and XRP excelling, and a lot of it really revolves around the ideas of tokenized treasuries, ETF inflows, and we need to talk about the Saylor pivot even further. This is bigger than most people understand. The main points to watch here: Ripple, JPMorgan, Mastercard, Ondo, and many others with this pilot. It's pretty interesting. We are so close to clarity, and when you can actually start using these blockchains for an intended purpose. Oh, now Goldman Sachs is the biggest holder of XRP. JPMorgan is all of a sudden starting to pilot, Ripple's payment services and using the XRP Ledger. It's no accident. This is the way it was always going to be. XRP ETF inflows. You got to keep your eye on that. What you're seeing today is just the tip of the iceberg, very small. You're going to see massive growth in that arena in terms of daily inflows will dwarf what we see in a whole month right now. Clarity. We are may or bust. That's where we are today. Does this thing get done or not? Bitcoin pushing above 80,000, bullish for the whole space. TradFi plumbing, it's getting real. This is the moment where they start actually using this technology. All the things we talked about for all of these years, it is starting to happen and in a significant manner. And lastly, of course, MicroStrategy, they may sell Bitcoin. They are going to sell Bitcoin. You best believe it. Tokenized treasuries meet real banking rails. That's the big deal here. Ripple, JPMorgan, Mastercard, Ondo. And a lot of us that have been around, we're like, yeah, they do these kind of trials all the time. It's not the same. This is really getting ready for real world activity, for launching these services, the next generation of financial rails. When we look at this whole cross rail settlement in real time, XRP Ledger, of course, not using, RLUSD and Ethereum. No, they're using XRP Ledger. That's the key point here. And that's where you get that efficiency. Ondo, MasterCard, JPMorgan, USD settled. This is what the future will look like. Public blockchains handling the assets, the messaging, banks handling the dollars in the accounts. Crypto is no longer parallel to TradFi. It's becoming part of it. And again, a lot of people within crypto 3 years ago, 5 years ago, they would have told you the point is to break away from TradFi. Most people that knew what they were talking about said this is going to be an integration. That's where it is. It's not about breaking away here. The RWA market, though, is so small. Its tokenized treasuries today sit at $15 billion, but total U.S. treasuries globally, $30 trillion. And you understand the type of growth that we may see here as you start seeing all of these treasuries rip on chain, DTCC, a big part of that, NASDAQ, JPMorgan, MasterCard, and of course, Ripple helping build out the infrastructure. There'll be a lot of players, make no mistake, a lot of blockchains, but XRP Ledger, Ripple, they will be a force in this area. XRP ETF, first green week of May, 28 million inflows. We are seeing over 1.3 billion in total. Understand this, 28 million is nothing. It is literally nothing for inflows for a week. And this reminds me, a little bit higher scale, but 2017, we used to see $400,000 a day in, volume in XRP, and now we're at billions. You're going to see something similar here with the ETFs across the board. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, you name it. But specifically XRP, there's going to be huge and massive growth. And the other thing is, not all volume is equal. These inflows, they're sticky. These are institutional investors making long-term investments. They're not wishy-washy. It's going to make a difference in the available supply of XRP long-term. It's going to make a massive difference. Clarity Act. We have to see it happen now here. Mark it in your calendar. Senate recess deadline, May 21st. Get this thing on the president's desk by July 4th. Sign it into law. Give us long-term protections. Yeah, XRP itself is a commodity. We understand that. It's not a security ruled by a judge, but we don't know what kind of reptilian laws they could write in the future. And more importantly, it doesn't matter what we know, it's the institutions. Are they comfortable rolling in all this time, all this money, all this effort to transition over into another, financial system, a new technology? Well, they're not going to do it if they don't know it's legal long-term. Pretty simple. Long-term thesis doesn't die in May. But short-term, it makes a big difference. How quickly are these institutions going to come ripping onto the blockchain? I think it happens, though, because, again, BlackRock wants this. What BlackRock wants, they get. JPMorgan, they're all preparing. They all know the way this thing is going to play out here. Bitcoin pushing above $80,000. 629 million single-day Bitcoin ETF inflows. And again, that's even minor compared to where we're going. No less the 28 million we saw in XRP. You're going to have billion-dollar days in all of these cryptocurrencies. This is an important part. And again, you're going to have this efficient way for a lot of investors. It may not be the way that we choose to invest in crypto, but a lot of investors are going to want this. They're going to demand this. And this is the way the big money allocates into these assets. ETFs are going to be a big player for pushing value up over the long term. It's all, even Bitcoin ETFs are so new. XRP ETFs are ridiculously new. TradFi plumbing is going on chain. We've heard from Paul Atkins of the SEC that almost every security eventually will trade on chain. It's only going to get more intensive from here. They all want it. They want to go global. We need more money flowing into our markets. They want to make it easy for anyone, anywhere in the world to invest in these capital markets. Multi-chain stablecoin settlement, Visa, Meta partnership, spot ETF for both Bitcoin and Ethereum in Japan. That's a big deal. Gemini with their CFTC license secured. Google Cloud, big partners within crypto. Google, they're always ahead of the curve here, whether it's self-driving cars, investing in SpaceX, investing in the crypto space. The biggest one, AI, of course. They have most AI infrastructure. Google's been going hard in crypto, and people have not been noticing. Flare, another big partnership of Google's. And Coinbase, of course, product launch, RWA moves. They want to be this big infrastructure player, and they're one of the biggest here in the United States. Don't worry, we'll just buy more. This is the most ridiculous statement by MicroStrategy. So what happened is Michael Saylor said, "Oh, don't worry, we might have to sell a Bitcoin to pay our dividends, but we'll buy, 60 more. For every one Bitcoin we sell, we'll buy 60." Like, you don't have cash flow today to pay the dividends you already owe, to pay the debt you already owe. So you're telling me, don't worry. Don't worry, you're just gonna sell a few to pay your dividends, and then we'll just borrow more. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Think if you couldn't make your minimum payment on your credit card, and you're like, it doesn't matter. We'll take out another credit card and use that to make the minimum payment, and then use the rest of our balance to pay the rest of our living expenses. Like, that ain't going to work out well for you. And the math doesn't make sense. And it's so stupid. And you're just starting to hear the rumbling. People saying the math ain't mathin', man. This is going to be a problem for all crypto. And it's unfortunate because people should speak up immediately. That's why I keep droning on this issue, because everyone's quiet. Everyone's like, Michael Saylor's a genius. Yeah, genius in running Ponzi schemes. And people don't pay attention to this because it helps Bitcoin today, but it hurts everything tomorrow. That's the key deal here. But we've been through this before. We've seen the Mashinskis. A lot of people said, oh, well, he's not a bank. He's the good guy. No. The bad guys usually try to be good guys. We've seen it with FTX. We've been through this a time or two. Terra Luna, you name it. This isn't going to be the end of crypto, but someday this will blow up. Now, right now, if we get clarity done, if crypto takes off, well, it might work out well for Michael Saylor today. It might be one of the best trades of the century, being able to long MicroStrategies if the dice roll the correct way. But to me, that's a gamble, because long term, it just makes no sense. Their strategy, their business, it makes no sense. You cannot borrow to infinity. And the problem they're having today, down the road at least, is going to get exponentially worse. Because when he says we're going to sell a few Bitcoin to pay dividends and borrow more, well, as they start borrowing more funds, a lot of that will be preferred stock. Might not be considered borrowing, but they're going to have that need to pay out more and more dividends. It's going to continue to escalate and become more problematic. And again, it's 10% for life. This doesn't go away. You don't pay the debt off and then you don't have to make payments no more. It's forever. It is forever they have to make these payments. And there is just no way this can work out for them long term. It's a bunch of crap. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.